why not check out our website at wrestlingfatherandson.weebly.com, and don't forget to like, comment and subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell.
Hi everyone, welcome back to Wrestling Fun with Father and Son. I'm Father Matt and this is Son.
Hi.
And this is the week that was WWE. This is Raw. Yep, Raw 17th of the 6th, 19, bit to go through, so let's crack right into it. Raw started off with Elias in the ring. Obviously he's SmackDown, so he was the wild card this week. He was doing a bit of a promo about how he's invited by Baron Corbin and that he was going to be the special referee in that match at Stomping Ground against Seth Rollins and Baron Corbin. Just then, out of nowhere, Seth Rollins appeared with a steel chair to Elias and sort of took him out and sort of did a little bit of a promo saying that if anyone else wanted to step up to be Baron Corbin's special guest referee, that he would then take them all out, didn't he, Guy? Yep. So then Seth Rollins left, and the next we had The Miz come out, didn't we? And they were going to have a 5-way elimination for the #1 contendership for the United States Championship, Samoa Joe. So The Miz came out, he did a soul-crushing finale to Elias, who was still in the ring. Then Bobby Lashley came out and done his spear, didn't he? Then Cesaro came out and did the big swing. And then Ricochet came out and done a double knee sort of drop, which I think looked like a bit of like a code breaker. I thought it looked like a bit of a code breaker. And then Braun Strowman came out, didn't he? Did his run, fallen slam, all to Elias.
I said that when we watched it.
Yeah. Then they had like a 5-way elimination. Samoa Joe came out. I think he came out mid-match. He was on commentary. Oh no, sorry. He came out mid-match and he was sitting at ringside, wasn't he? And it ended up that Ricochet was the one who won the match. So he is now the #1 contender for the US title. But after the match, after he turned his back, Samoa Joe got into the ring and he attacked him. And then obviously they got a match at Stomping Ground this Sunday. Next, we had Becky Lynch. She came out to call out Lacey Evans. Obviously they got a match at Stomping Ground for the Raw's Women's Championship. Lacey Evans came out, done a little bit of a promo as she was walking to the ring. Just as she got into the ring, Becky Lynch did the Bex Exploder. Is it called the Bex Exploder? I think it's called the Bex Exploder.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not really as high on Becky Lynch as I was at, say, WrestleMania. I'm not really interested in seeing this match, but, you know, it is what it is. Next we had a backstage promo with Shane McMahon and Drew McIntyre. Still doing their celebrations. When the Revival walked in, they sort of had champagne. But then they had a backstage interview with Baron Corbin, who's doing an interview about the special guest referee, all just to be attacked by Seth Rollins with a steel chair again. And that was how they ended that. Next, Rowan and Daniel Bryan came out to do a promo. Obviously, they are the wild cards. We haven't seen Daniel Bryan on Raw for a little while. They did a bit of a promo on Seth Rollins, I think. I think they did, because obviously Daniel Bryan was later on in the night going to face Seth Rollins in the main event. Then the Viking Raiders came out against a couple of jobbers. Really quick match. I haven't seen the Viking Raiders for a little while, but they did a quick match, quick win. That was all that really could say that. Then they had sort of, as at the end of that match, they had a crowd shot, didn't they? They sort of crowd pan and shot. And who was in the crowd? Dressed up in a costume.
R-Truth and Carmella.
Yes, R-Truth and Carmella were in, at ringside in costume. They sort of noticed that it sort of lingered on them for a little while. That meant that all the people, all the contenders for the 24/7 belt came down. They sort of went, R-Truth went under the ring again. They sort of went round the ring and pulled out. Who did they pull out from underneath the ring?
Titus O'Neil.
It was Titus O'Neil, yeah. And then R-Truth came out the other side and he sort of escaped into the crowd again. So they're continuing that, but there is a little bit, I think, to follow up on SmackDown with that title I've seen. Then Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn came out. They just momentarily came out because they went backstage to Shane McMahon again, who was backstage with Drew McIntyre and the Revival, only for Heath Slater to walk in and say he wanted a raise in his contract, only for Shane McMahon to say no. He then Slater walked out of the dressing room area to be followed by Drew McIntyre, who obviously they used to be in 3MB. He got out some money, but then he dropped it, and as Heath Slater was picking up the money, he attacked him, didn't he?
And
Yep.
And the revival picked up. And
Yeah,
I
that was
found
quite a
that
funny
quite
little.
funny.
That was quite a little funny little thing. Yep, the revival came out to sort of break up that attack, and as they did, they were sort of picking up Drew McIntyre's money and sticking it in their pockets, which I thought was quite a funny thing. Then we went
I
back.
thought it was funny as well.
Yeah. Then they went back to what is it? The Sammy and Kevin show. They introduced their guest, who was again Baron Corbin. Baron Corbin then came out and said that he found another referee, and it was somebody who could count to 3. And who was it?
EC3.
EC3. Yes, he came out. Only momentarily though, because again he was attacked by Seth Rollins with a steel chair in the back. Then the New Day came out, didn't they? The New Day came out, and Kofi said that. I'm not sure. I think it was it Sami Zayn or Kevin Owens? I can't really remember. But one of them said that they weren't on the roster to be on as a wild cards, and
I
then
think that was Big E.
No, that wasn't. I think it was Sami Zayn. He said that they weren't on the sort of the rota to be on there as a wild card, which I thought was quite funny. How then Kofi Kingston then said that he's WWE champion, they can go anywhere, which I thought was funny. You know, what is the wild card?
It's Kevin.
Well, I don't know. I can't remember. Anyway, they sort of ended up having a little bit of a back and forth promo that ended up in the challenge. It was going to be the New Day versus Baron Corbin, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. They sort of made a joke about they ain't got a ref, and then they sort of needed a ref to sanction the match, only for them to pick up EC3 and sort of do a funny little skit with him nodding his head because he was already like unconscious from the chair shot from Seth Rollins. Yep, they had a quick sort of. They sort of then set up that match, sanctioned that match, but before the match got on the way, they went to backstage with the club, on the Gallows and Anderson, with the injured AJ Styles, and AJ Styles sort of cut a promo on them saying that they need to be more serious instead of being a comedy act. That'll feature later on in the show. Then they came back to the New Day, had their match. Not much of the match. The New Day went and won, didn't they? Again, Kofi Kingston seems to be on this sort of winning streak. He keeps winning. Then next we had Paul Heyman come out just to keep Brock Lesnar relevant on the show. Not much to it. Next they had Baron Corbin approach Eric Young to ask him if he was going to be the ref, only for him to sort of walk away, for then Seth Rollins to appear and Eric Young to say, I was going to turn him down. Then they sort of walk. Eric Young walks forward, Seth Rollins walks back, then he hits him with a chair and takes him out as well, sort of sending the message that anyone who's thinking about it shouldn't be thinking about it. Next we had the Usos versus the club. Obviously AJ Styles was trying to sort of fire them up, only for the club to lose. They'd actually lost to the Usos, which I thought was quite funny. Then next we had Roman Reigns come out and done a promo again. Obviously he has a match at Stomping Ground against Drew McIntyre, doesn't he? Shane was on the Titantron. I went backstage. Then Shane McMahon sort of handed the reins over, no pun intended there, Kai, to Drew McIntyre, who started to cut a promo on Roman Reigns, only for Roman Reigns to go through the crowd. And then he ended up backstage. He sort of, the Revival sort of met him. He attacked the Revival, didn't he, outside the room, went into the room. He put Drew McIntyre through a table, and then Shane McMahon escaped to ringside, and they had a bit of a brawl at ringside. And then that was kind of how they ended that. Obviously, then Roman Reigns had the upper hand over Shane McMahon. Next, we had the Iconics versus Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross for the Women's Tag Team Championships. Not a lot to happen to that. The Iconics won. Then after the match, Bayley pulled off Alexa Bliss off the ring apron, obviously trying to hype their match this weekend. Next, we had the Yowie Wowie Alert, which was the Fireflies Funhouse. It was quite a spooky one, this one. I think they've now got to the end of these. I'm hoping now that next week they're going to debut Bray Wyatt, hopefully. So hopefully we'll see him. It sort of seemed like that from the promo. It was kind of the end. They sort of filtered back through all the other promos they'd done. So hopefully that is what we'll see, a debut next week. And then it comes to the main event. Daniel Bryan versus Seth Rollins. They sort of got the match underway, only for Eric Rowan to interfere, get a DQ. That sent out a lot of people. Who was it? There was a New Day, Owens and Sami Zayn. There was the Revival, the Usos. They all brawled outside the ring, and then they got banned all from ringside. And then they restarted the match between Seth Rollins and Daniel Bryan, only for Seth Rollins to get curb stomp win on Daniel Bryan. And then after the match, as Seth Rollins was walking up the ramp, I think, backwards, he got attacked by Baron Corbin with the chair. So yeah, that was the Raw before Stomping Ground. It was a bit better this week than we have had previously. A little bit more enjoyable, a few more things to enjoy in it. So yeah, going home, I wish they'd hyped up a little bit more, but I just think Stomping Ground's just like one of the steps between now and SummerSlam. Yeah, I would have hyped it up a little bit more, but it is what it is. We'll have to see. So, like I say, that was a quick go through Raw. It was a lot to get through, so I kind of just sort of ploughed through it. And what we'll do is we'll do our we're going to do predictions. That's coming this week, and then we're going to do the reactions probably on Monday after we've watched Stomping Ground. So yes, so if you like the video, please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll say goodbye, and we'll see you in the next video, which will be the week of WWE SmackDown, which will probably be tomorrow, Thursday, and I'll say goodbye, and say goodbye, Kai.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.